Jai Hind, dear children. Today we can discuss about the science board exam question pattern and the instructions to write the answers of biology questions. And also we can revise the portions that you have to study for or prepare for the board exam. Now let us come to the biology portions. The chapters you have to study for the exams are the first chapter, life processes. How do organisms reproduce? And heredity portion from the chapter Heredity and Evolution. And the last chapter, our environment. And the deleted portions are the chapter Control and Coordination and the evolution part from the chapter Heredity and Evolution. Is it clear for you? And the chapter Management of Natural Resources is taken for internal assessment. From these portions, the majority of the questions will be from the chapter Life Process. Almost 50-56% of the questions will be from Life Process. See children, we have already sent the science model question paper. And I hope all of you are having it, right? So when you watch the video, please take the question paper also with you. Then it will be easy for you to analyze. The question paper has 4 sections. Section A, B, C and D. This year, more number of application level questions are included. Section A has 20 MCQ or very short answer questions. Section B has 6 short answer type questions which carries 2 marks each. And section C has 7 short answer type questions which carries 3 marks each. Section D has 3 long answer type questions which carries 5 marks each. There is no overall choices for each sections. But internal choices are given for 11 questions. In your model question paper, from section A, if we take question number 10, what is the question? Veins are thin-walled and have valves. Justify. What are veins? Veins are the blood vessels which collect the blood from different parts of the body to the heart, so that blood do not have any pressure. So, no need of thick walls, and also there is a chance of backflow of blood as there is no pressure. So, to avoid the backflow, there present valves in the veins. But you don't need to explain all these things for writing the answer. You have to write the answer in just a sentence because it is a 1 mark question. You can write the answer as veins are thin walls because the blood flows through the veins is not under pressure and they have valves to ensure blood flows only in one direction. See the next question, question number 11. This is a choice question. 2 questions are asked here. You need to answer only one question. The first question is, how is the wall of small intestine adapted for performing the functions of absorption of food? You have learned that when we eat the food, it gets completely digested and absorbed in the small intestine. Here the question is, how is small intestine designed for the absorption of food? So you no need to explain too much. You can write the answer as the inner lining of the small intestine has numerous finger-like projections called villi, which increases the surface area for the absorption. This is how you can write it in just one sentence. Like this, you can write the answers of question number 1 to 13 in one sentence or one word, as it is for 1 marks. Okay, so you need to write the answers according to the marks provided for each question. No need to explain more. If you write more points also, you will not get more marks. You will get only 1 mark. So at point you want to write, then you will get 1 mark. In section A itself, question number 14, 15 and 16. Two statements are given. One is assertion and one statement is the reason for that assertion. Assertion means a fact. So, and 4 options will be given. Both A, assertion and reason are true and reason is the correct explanation for assertion. The option B, both assertion and reason are true but reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. C option, A is true and R is false. And like that D, assertion is false but reason is true. So you need to read the statement properly and understand it and see whether the reason given for that assertion is the correct explanation for that assertion. Then you choose the correct option and write the answer. Now in this, see question number 15. The assertion given is food chain is responsible for the entry of harmful chemicals in our bodies. And the reason given is the length of and complexity of the food chain vary greatly. Here, assertion means in a food chain, there are producers, consumers, secondary consumers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers and so on. If in the producers itself, if the level of harmful chemicals is high, it enters into the primary consumers when they consume the producers and then to the secondary and tertiary consumers. And the level of chemicals will be more in the tertiary consumers and this is what we call it as biological magnification. But the reason given here is not the correct explanation for this assertion. So you can choose the option B as the answer because here the statement for assertion and the statement for reason are true statements. But the reason given for the assertion is not the correct explanation for that assertion. See the next question. Greater number of individuals are present in lower trophic levels. The assertion is true. See in the producer level, there should be more number of individuals. Then only the primary consumers and the secondary consumers, they will get more food and all. So the statement is correct. And the reason given here is the flow of energy is unidirectional. That statement is also correct. The energy will flow only in one direction, upward direction only. So, but the reason for this greater number of individuals are present in lower trophic levels is not the correct explanation. So, here also you can choose B option as the answer. See the next question. A geneticist crossed a pea plant having violet flowers with a pea plant with white flowers. He got all violet flowers in first generation. It is correct. But the reason given here is white color gene is not passed on to the next generation. But actually the gene of white color is passed to the next generation, but it is not expressed, that we have studied. Only the dominant genes, that is the violet color, is expressed in the next generation. So, the reason given here is not the correct statement and the explanation, and it is not the correct explanation for the assertion. So, you can choose the option C as the answer, that is assertion is true but reason is false. Next, from question number 17 to 20. These are paragraph questions or case-based questions. It includes paragraph-based, assertion-based or graph or table-based questions. you need to write the answer based on the information given in the paragraph or in the graph or in the tables. So you need to read the paragraphs multiple times to understand the data given and then answer the questions. So last year, this type of questions are only 2 questions were there, but this year it is increased to 4 questions. So you will get 16 marks. So be careful while writing the answers of these questions. Here, for each question, there are 5 sub-questions. But you are expected to answer only 4 questions. And you will get 4 marks. So let us take question number 17. Read the following and answer any 4. From 17.1 to 17.5. 5 sub-questions are there. All living cells require energy for various activities. This energy is available by the breakdown of simple carbohydrates either using oxygen or without using oxygen. The first question given is, energy in the case of higher plants and animals is obtained by. 4 options are given: breathing, tissue respiration, organ respiration and digestion of food. So as we know that breathing is only the exchange of gases and digestion of food is the breakdown of complex food molecules into simpler food molecules. So energy is not obtained. But the tissue respiration, the tissues consist of cells and inside the cells only cellular respiration takes place and food gets oxidized. Then only energy is released. So the correct answer here is tissue respiration. Option B. The next second part of the question. Here a graph is given representing the concentration of lactic acid in the blood on the y-axis and time on the x-axis. A curved graph is drawn as points A shows the level of lactic acid before running and part B, C, D and E during and after the 400 meter race. And point D is shown the peak concentration of lactic acid. So the question based on this graph is, lactic acid production has occurred in the athlete while running in the 400 meter race. Which of the following processes explains the event? See, you all have learned that while doing more physical exercises, our muscle cells need more energy, and if the cells lack oxygen, the breakdown of glucose takes place anaerobically. And as a result, glucose will not break down completely and the lactic acid is produced and as the end product, and only less amount of energy is produced. So here the answer is option B, anaerobic respiration. Next is part 3. Here also again 2 graphs are given that represents the energy supplied to the athlete with respect to the time to the athlete. One is plot A and another one is plot B. Now the question is to choose the correct combination of plots and justification provided in the following table. So here one table is given which shows 4 combinations of plots and its justifications. Plot A, plot B and its justification. So from the graph we can identify that plot A represents aerobic because the amount of energy released is high and consistent. And plot B shows anaerobic respiration because here first the energy level is high and it decreases by time and it is inconsistent. So the correct answer is option B, that is aerobic is plot A, plot B anaerobic, and the justification is amount of energy is high and consistent in aerobic and low in anaerobic. That is the correct answer. The next question is part 4. The characteristic processes observed in anaerobic respirations are presence of oxygen, release of carbon dioxide, release of energy, and release of lactic acid. And 4 options are given. You have already studied that in anaerobic respiration, oxygen is not present, or it takes place in the absence of oxygen. But the release of carbon dioxide, small amount of release of carbon dioxide takes place, release of energy takes place, and the release of lactic acid also takes place. So, option C is the correct answer. Next, part 5. Here, a table is given which has the information about aerobic as well as anaerobic respiration. The location, end product, amount of ATP released, and the presence or absence of oxygen in aerobic and anaerobic respiration is given in the table. You want to choose the correct option. Here, option B, C, D are correct. Only A is incorrect. That is, the location of aerobic respiration includes the cytoplasm and mitochondria. But anaerobic respiration takes place in the cytoplasm only. So that is the incorrect information. So option A is the answer. So the biology questions in section A is over. And next, section B, there is question number 21. It is a choice question. And 22 there are 2 questions in biology. So it carries 2 marks and you need to write the points accordingly. Only for 2 marks. Okay. And the section C, from question number 27 it is section C, and question number 27, 28 and 29 are biology questions. And here I have given the answers for those questions. You can go through the answers of the questions. For 3 marks questions, you need to explain some more briefly. And next part is 5 marks question, that is section D. So in this, question number 35 is biology. So listen that question. Trace the changes that takes place in the flower from gamete formation to fruit formation. You have studied the sexual reproduction in plants. From that we have learned that there takes place so many changes in a flower from the gamete formation to fruit formation. See, for this question, you have to draw the stages of a flower from the gamete formation to the fruit formation. First, you have to draw the LS of the flower, and then the stamens and the pollen grains. Then you have to draw the pistil, showing the ovary, labeling the ovary, stigma, style, etc. And then you have to draw the double fertilization, which shows the pollen tube germination and the fusion of male and female gametes. So with the diagram, you need to explain the changes also as points. Now, let us revise the important topics to be studied in each chapter. The first chapter, life process. It includes the contents. What are life processes? Nutrition, respiration, circulation or transportation, and excretion in living organisms, especially in human beings and plants. What is life process? Which are the life processes? Nutrition, the modes of nutrition, that is autotrophic nutrition. In that, photosynthesis, process of photosynthesis and events of photosynthesis, Stomata, importance of stomata, opening and closing of stomata, saprophytic nutrition, parasitic nutrition, and nutrition in amoeba. How does amoeba obtain food? Next is the nutrition in human beings. Digestive system consists of buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, small intestine and large intestine, and functions of each organs associated with the digestive system, and about the digestive enzymes produced in the digestive system and how it functions. The associated glands are pancreas and liver, which are associated with the digestive system, and the importance of small intestine. It is absorption, complete digestion and absorption takes place in the small intestine, and absorption takes place with the help of the finger-like structures called villi. The function of liver. Next is respiratory system or respiration. Respiration includes two major steps. One is breathing and the next one is cellular respiration. So there are two types of respiration, mainly aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen and anaerobic respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen. Now the respiration in humans. So humans have a respiratory system which includes the main respiratory organ is lungs. So with the help of lungs, the exchange of gases takes place and the breathing takes place. The process of breathing includes inhalation and exhalation. And the respiration in muscle cells. Now the respiration in plants. How do plants respire? Next is transportation or circulation. The main organ of the transportation which helps for the transportation of human is heart. And the importance of transportation in all organisms and the components of the transportation system, blood and lymph, the structure of heart, 4 chambers of heart, the valves present in the heart, all are very important. Now the types of blood vessels, arteries, veins and capillaries are the 3 types of blood vessels present in our body. Now the circulation, double circulation that occurs in human beings. How it occurs? Now the schematic representation of double circulation is very important. Now what is blood pressure? The pumping of the blood from the heart exerts a pressure on the blood vessels and that is called as a blood pressure. Systolic and diastolic blood pressure. Next is the transportation in plants. There are 2 types of transportation in plants. One is the transportation of water and minerals and another is the transportation of food molecules. The transportation of food molecules is known as the translocation. And the components for the transportation in plants are xylem and phloem. The water and the minerals are transported from the roots to the leaves through the xylem. And the food molecules prepared by the leaves that are utilized by the plants for so many metabolic activities, and these are translocated from the leaves to all parts of the plants. Now excretion. Excretion is the process of removal of metabolic waste or nitrogenous waste from the body of organisms. The excretory system of human consists of kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. The function of the kidney is to filter the blood and remove the nitrogenous waste from the body. The functional unit of filtration in kidneys are nephrons. hemodialysis. See, after studying each chapters or each topics, you can prepare a mind map. So it will be very useful for you to remind or memorize the points in that particular chapter. Next is reproduction. Importance of reproduction. The modes of reproduction, that is asexual and sexual reproduction, and different methods of reproduction, that is binary fission, multiple fission. Now the next method of asexual reproduction, budding. For example, Hydra reproduce through budding. And regeneration and fragmentation. Some primitive animals regenerates. Regeneration in planaria and fragmentation in Spirogera. Difference between the regeneration and fragmentation. Some organisms like fungi reproduce through spore formation. And the next is vegetative propagation. This is a method of asexual reproduction in which from some part of the plants like leaves, adventitious roots, stems, etc., buds arise and it develops into new plants. And there are some artificial methods of vegetative propagation also. They are layering, grafting, etc. Next is sexual reproduction in human beings. The male reproductive system and the parts of the male reproductive system and the associated glands associated with the male reproductive system, etc. Next is female reproductive system. The structure of female reproductive system, the organs associated with the female reproductive system, and the enzymes produced by the female reproductive system, fertilization, etc. And next is the birth control or the contraceptive methods for controlling the population or birth control. Next, the sexual reproduction in plants. We want to study the structure of LS of a flower, to draw the LS of flower. And the stamens are the male reproductive structures in which pollen grains are produced. The pistil are the female reproductive structure in which the egg or the ovule or the egg cells are present. Now pollination, two types of pollination, self-pollination and cross-pollination. Next, fertilization. In plants, double fertilization takes place in which it includes syngamy and triple fusion. After the fertilization, the seeds are developed. Now, this is the mind map of the chapter How Do Organisms Reproduce. Next, the chapter Heredity. In the heredity and evolution, you need to study only the topic heredity. So, what is heredity? What are genes? Mendel's experiments. The 7 contrasting characteristics Mendel selected for doing the experiments in Pisum sativum. Dominant traits, recessive traits. Monohybrid cross, the ratio of phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio obtained in the of plants obtained in the monohybrid cross, dihybrid cross, the phenotypic and genotypic ratio of monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross, and law of inheritance, that is law of dominance, law of segregation and law of independent assortment. And the next is sex determination, acquired characters, inherited characters or inherited traits, etc. The next chapter, our environment. What is ecosystem? Biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste, food chain, different types of ecosystems, food web, Difference between the food chain and food web. The trophic levels in a food chain. How to draw the pyramid of a trophic level. Energy flow in an ecosystem. 10% low. Pyramid of energy. The flow of energy is unidirectional, it is very important. And biological magnification, that is also very important. Ozone layer depletion. And the different methods of garbage management. This is the mind map of the chapter or environment. So children, I hope you all got an idea about how to write the answers for the application level questions like assertion reason questions and also paragraph or case study questions in biology. Please remember, you should answer each questions according to the marks provided for each questions. Another important thing you should do is to read your NCERT textbook properly multiple times and understand the concept. It is very important. Then only you can write the apt point for each questions. And while reading, you should mark the important points and concepts and make a short note of those points, which will help you to memorize the contents. Because when the exams are near, sometimes you will not get time to read all the contents or all the textbook or notebooks or whatever may be. And if you note down these points, it will be very useful for you during the exam time. Another important thing is you should attend all the questions. Don't leave any questions without writing. And put the question marks for each questions correctly. Main question will be there. For some questions, sub-questions will be there. That also you want to put the question numbers correctly. Otherwise, you will lose the mark. Another important thing is, while preparing for the exam, please try to work out the previous year board exam questions, which will make you more confident in writing the board exam questions. This I am saying not only for biology, for all the subjects. You work out the previous year's question papers, how much you can do it. Now all the subjects, the portions are over and revision starts now. So one main important thing you must do is prepare a weekly timetable for each subjects by dividing the portions by which you can manage your time and can complete your whole portions within a particular time before the exam starts, and you can be tension free. While preparing the timetable, you can take 2 subjects a day so that you will not get bored. Trust me, if you do like this, you can cover the whole portions on time and can relax and face the board exams easily. Okay children, I pray that God bless each one of you for attending the exams well. My blessings are also with you. All the very best for the exams. Prepare well, my dear children. Thank you.